The airport buzzed with energy, families reuniting, travelers rushing to their gates, and the scent of freshly brewed coffee filling the air. Overhead, announcements echoed through the terminal as people hurried past, eager to reach their destinations. Among them was Maya Carter, a bright and determined 17-year-old, gripping her boarding pass to first class, a gift from her father, Jonathan Carter, for her academic achievements. It was her first time flying in luxury, and the excitement was almost too much to contain. The spacious seats, the gourmet meals, the VIP treatment. She had worked hard to earn this. Her father had always taught her that effort and perseverance open doors, and today she was walking through one of them. As she stepped toward the gate, her phone buzzed with a message. "Enjoy every moment, Maya. You deserve this." A warm smile spread across her face as she replied quickly. But what she didn't know was that her joy was about to be tested in a way she never expected. Boarding had begun, and Maya eagerly stepped toward the jet bridge, her boarding pass in hand. As she reached the first-class section, a flight attendant named Rachel suddenly stepped in front of her. "Excuse me, miss," Rachel said, her voice laced with authority. "First-class seating is reserved for premium ticket holders. You'll need to move to the economy section." Maya blinked, momentarily stunned. I have a first-class ticket," she said, holding up her boarding pass. The words Seat 2A First Class were printed in bold letters. Rachel barely glanced at it before shaking her head. "I think there's been a mistake." Maya's stomach dropped. People were beginning to stare. A man in a suit smirked, while a woman across the aisle gave her a sympathetic glance. "There's no mistake," Maya said, forcing her voice to stay calm. "My father booked this seat for me." Rachel's eyebrow arched skeptically. "Your father booked it for you?" she repeated, her tone filled with doubt. "Let me confirm with the gate agent." The whispers in the cabin grew louder. Maya felt her face burn with humiliation, her grip tightening on her boarding pass. She could feel the weight of everyone's judgment pressing down on her. With a forced smile, Rachel gestured toward the seat. "You can sit for now," she said. "But if this is a mistake, you'll need to move." Maya lowered herself into the plush seat, but the comfort of first class suddenly felt suffocating. She had never been treated like this before. Was it because she was young? Because they assumed she didn't belong? She took a deep breath and remembered her father's words. "You belong wherever you choose to be." She wasn't going to let anyone make her feel otherwise. Minutes passed, but they felt like hours. The tension in the cabin was unbearable. Then Rachel returned, this time with the gate agent beside her. "Miss Carter," Rachel began, her voice sharp, "we've checked your ticket and—" Before she could finish, the cabin door opened, and Jonathan Carter stepped onto the plane. He walked with confidence, his tailored suit crisp, his presence commanding immediate respect. Every conversation in the cabin halted as he made his way down the aisle. Rachel turned, her face faltering as she recognized him. "Sir, we're just handling a small seating error," she said quickly, her tone suddenly polite. Jonathan stopped beside Maya, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Then his gaze locked onto Rachel's. "A seating error?" His voice was calm but filled with quiet authority. "My daughter was questioned about a ticket I personally purchased for her." Rachel swallowed hard. "We just wanted to verify—" "She showed you her boarding pass," Jonathan cut in, his tone unwavering. "So tell me, why was my daughter made to feel as though she didn't belong here?" A ripple of unease passed through the passengers. Some shifted in their seats, suddenly avoiding eye contact. The man in the suit cleared his throat, looking uncomfortable. Rachel opened her mouth to respond, but the words never came. The head flight attendant, sensing the tension, suddenly appeared and gestured toward the back of the plane. "Rachel, let's step aside." Rachel hesitated before nodding, following her superior down the aisle. Silence filled the cabin. Then a man from across the aisle spoke. "Mr. Carter, I just want to say I'm sorry. We all should have spoken up." A woman in the front row turned toward Maya and smiled. "You handled that beautifully, dear." Maya nodded, relief washing over her, but the sting of the moment still lingered. She turned to her father. "Why does this always happen?" she asked softly. Jonathan sighed, his expression both firm and understanding. "Because some people judge before they understand," he said. "But today they learned a lesson, and you showed them what true strength looks like." As the plane soared into the sky, Maya stared out the window, watching the clouds drift by. The tension had faded, replaced by something else. Pride. She turned to her father. "Thank you for standing up for me." Jonathan smiled, his voice filled with warmth. "I'll always stand up for you, Maya, but you stood up for yourself first, and that's what makes me proudest." Maya nodded, her confidence growing. "I just wish people didn't judge so quickly." Jonathan leaned in slightly, his tone carrying a lifetime of wisdom. "People will always judge, whether it's right or wrong. But what really matters is how you respond. Every time you rise above it, you teach the world to do better." Just then, a different flight attendant approached, setting a glass of sparkling water on Maya's tray. "This is from the crew," she said, her smile genuine, "with our sincerest apologies." Maya exchanged a glance with her father, then took a sip, letting the moment sink in. Jonathan leaned back in his seat, watching his daughter with a quiet sense of admiration. "Remember, Maya, you belong wherever you choose to be." And this time, she believed it. This story isn't just about one moment on a plane. It's about challenging perceptions, standing up for yourself, and knowing your worth. If you've ever felt judged unfairly, remember Maya's story. Your value isn't determined by others' assumptions, it's determined by you. What would you have done in Maya's situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful real-life stories.